This is Broke Money Hustle. And now, here's Broke Money Hustle with Trico and Erik.
Hello. This is Broke Money Hustle with Trico and Erik, or at least with Erik as my co-host seems to be AWOL. Chatted with him this morning about the market, how the market was doing, and haven't heard from him since. So he's got the invite link. Hopefully he'll pop in here at some point. This is Broke Money Hustle. This is a podcast dedicated to people who come from blue-collar, paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyles, what we would call broke money. If your credit cards are maxed out and you're just making the minimum payments, that's an example of broke money. You're lucky if you get 10, 20 bucks to spare after all the bills are paid. That's broke money. And the idea behind this podcast is that, TJ and I, we kind of had a meeting of the minds during the beginnings of lockdown and all that crap. And as some of our, not 9 to 5 and just opportunities were starting to dry up, we started to look for opportunities elsewhere, and we started giving ourselves a financial education. This all started with going through YouTube, following gurus, learning about stocks, crypto, learning what money actually was versus currency. Great video series by Mike Maloney on YouTube about that, goldsilver.com about him, and just generally trying to get an idea of what it's going to take to dig out of this hole, get the debt paid off, and start living more like how the wealthy live, where they don't do things like this. They don't go out and buy $300 sneakers when they're going to be lucky if they can pay their phone bill next month, those types of things. And really, it involves changing behaviors, changing your mindset, learning how to tell yourself no. And I'm planning on writing an ebook about this kind of journey along the way. We haven't come to the end of the journey yet because we're still learning some things, and that's part of the reason for this podcast. One of the things that we talk about, though, is the side hustle. And we had a gentleman on probably back maybe our second episode, my buddy Ryan, who was a professional DoorDasher now. He got laid off from his job, and he was he's picking up whatever side hustles he could find, picking up stuff at the roadside that people were throwing away, flipping it. And then one of his things was DoorDash. And so he shared some secrets with us about how he was doing DoorDash. And I decided to take the plunge this past Friday and experiment with the platform. And I was able to, actually it was Thursday, I got all the sign-up procedure done and decided to try doing the DoorDashing on Friday. Friday, typically a busy day in my neck of the woods. Lots of restaurants. I kind of live in a more affluent neighborhood, but we're right next to Detroit. So there's a real mixture of income levels and restaurants and different types of places. And it was very busy. It's a very busy area. Looking at the map of the greater metropolitan area where I live, it's a hot spot. And you can typically get, if I was out there doing it right now, I'd probably be getting an extra $2, $3 bonus per delivery just because of how busy it is. Now, this is a great opportunity because, again, given the COVID situation, they're short drivers. Same for Lyft and Uber and other Shipt probably as well. Still working on getting somebody in here to talk about Shipt, where you go out and you buy groceries for people and you do grocery door-to-door delivery. Anyway, with DoorDash, what it is, it's, I started out before Uber Eats, and it's all about going to McDonald's for somebody, picking up their food and bringing it to their house. The DoorDash experience was fun. I really enjoyed it. I tool around the neighborhood anyway once in a while, so I was basically tooling around the neighborhood and making some money, and very good money, actually. So I just kind of I'm just sharing this experience, and then we'll get into some stock talk. If my co-host ever decides to show up, you'll probably see his message and be like, oh crap, and we'll go on from there because I'm sure he's got some stock picks for us, but we may have to do a bonus episode so he can get that stuff in if he doesn't show up. But anyway, with DoorDash, and there's a link in the description if you want to sign up with my affiliate link. You can get started right away. I didn't have to wait on the activation kit. Now the activation kit is coming in the mail, and it gives me a hot bag where I can put food in it for installation, and you get a red card. The red card, as I've been reading up on it, basically is a credit card for people who have arranged through the app and they haven't, or however the restaurant arrangement is where you have to use the card to pay for the meal. So DoorDash will put the money on for the meal and you use that card to pay for the meal. My first day doing this, I don't have the red card yet. And they say you go ahead and do dashing. They'll send you SMS text updates. Say, hey, you know what? It's peak time. Why don't you keep going? And it really encourages you to keep doing it. So you could put in a lot of hours. For my 3-hour experiment with the platform, I used about 10 gallons of gas and made about $78. About $30 of that was tips, and the rest of it was the normal delivery pay, and there was some peak time in there as well. So yeah, that's $20-some an hour, $26 an hour, something like that kind of equates to. So that's really good money. I mean, that's really competitively good money, and you can work around your schedule. For myself, I have a lot of disabilities. So there's a lot of times where I can't even get out of bed because my joints are all seized up. I was feeling pretty good, and I decided to give DoorDash a try, and I kind of overdid it. So I spent the whole weekend kind of sore and hobbling around, and I'm seeing my chiropractor again regularly and hoping to get back on my feet so I can get back out there because it was, a very encouraging experience. I did 4 or 5 different McDonald's deliveries. Those were like $4, $5, a $7 one. They vary depending on what the person ordered, and if or not they've built a tip into it. And going back to what Ryan was saying, he became a top DoorDasher because he took every job that came around. And I guess within the DoorDash culture, people will decide that's not enough money for driving, an 11-minute drive to take somebody a pizza or whatever. And they'll sit around and they'll wait for bigger money. But he kept taking every job he could get, and he became a top dasher, and he was able to get basically first pick, if I'm remembering right from the interview. So for myself, I took every job that pinged on me. There were 2 of these wing joint places I took to. There were like $68 orders for hot wings, cornbread, and all this other stuff. So I was like 5 or 6 bags, all tied up with these styrofoam containers with all this food in it. And that was one of my longer deliveries. I was going all the way from Detroit up to a very affluent area across from the lake in this little cul-de-sac. And I got it there as fast as I possibly could. My customer service rankings for the deliveries I've made are 5 stars, all of them. I have an 87 out of 100 on timeliness. So I guess a couple of them were a little bit too late. I know there was 2 instances where, like with McDonald's, for example, the people at the local McDonald's were just not there to do their jobs. And this goes to customer service. I don't know what's going on with McDonald's, but McDonald's by my house is one of the worst McDonald's I've ever been in consistently. They had the COVID stuff up, plexiglass. It was sticky and had flies all over it. So I'm not buying the text on there that says we're doing everything we can to keep you safe from keeping it clean, since it didn't look like it'd been clean since it was put there. I don't go to the McDonald's for my own food anymore. I try not to ever eat McDonald's again just because it's not good for you. It's not good for your health. It's not part of my diet, but plenty of people like it. And this is the closest one in the area. And so they are very busy. Now I can understand letting some things slide, when you're very busy, and sometimes you can come in at a store and it's not looking good because people are too busy to clean up. And I really hope this was kind of the case, but honestly, the filth looked like it was there for quite a while. So maybe they're not doing as good a job as they should. But I know I stood there for maybe 10 minutes And for the 10 minutes that I was standing there, at least several employees walked by me and didn't bother to say hi. I had to butt in and say, hey, DoorDasher here, looking for this number. And then it took them a while to put the order together. So those are probably two of the orders where I didn't get the high score for timeliness, just because I was waiting on them. But for the rest of them, it seemed like it was really good. One restaurant that I went to was they had a table set up with the person's name on it, all ready for me right there. I just had to pick it up and go. And so that was an easy enough experience. For the most part, the businesses all knew what was going on. If they had new employees that didn't really quite know the job yet, that kind of fouled things up a bit for timeliness. But mostly I kind of wore myself out just getting in and out of the car over and over and turning the wheel to back in and back out. So that's why I got all sore over it. But again, it made really good money in the short amount of time that I tried it. And I'm looking forward to getting back out there. And now we are going to welcome Trike to the program.
How's it going?
Pretty good, man. You've got the X-Men arcade cabinet from 1UP behind you. That's impressive.
Yeah. Oh, it's a remake of the original one.
Is it really?
Yeah. A guy, kind of local, down, I forget where it is. Like it's downriver somewhere. It's a guy's side hustle. He buys like the computer or the processor or something from the old ones, and then he makes new arcades, and he makes them all from wood and everything. And he has another side hustle he has is he also has like a printer where he prints out all the graphics and everything. So in the winter when his work slows down, he makes cabinets and basically he makes the arcade games. So it's a kind of neat
okay, well, we need to get him on the show because that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I love
pretty
arcade
cool
stuff.
Yeah,
I love arcade stuff.
Yeah, definitely. That's first one I got. I want to get some more. It's just
is he reasonably priced?
This one was a 4-player. It was about $2,000 for the cabinet.
I mean, you might pay that for the original, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, but everything's the same. Like all the graphics and everything are the same as the original one.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So basically, I titled this episode "Me Experimenting with DoorDash." So if you've got any questions for me, I kind of gave a synopsis of what my day was like and how easy it was. But I mean, I sent you the link, hoping you'll maybe try it out as a side hustle. But if any questions come to mind, I'm happy to answer them.
Cool. Yeah. So is that like whatever you work that day, you get paid, or is it kind of like a regular part-time job where you're going to get paid next week or like on Friday for it or something?
They pay weekly. So
okay.
What I made on Friday, I will get, I think, at the end of this week. I'll get that.
Okay, cool.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. And then is most of that, like most of what you made, is that from tips, or most of that's your portion of the delivery fees?
It was almost 50-50. It was like $48 in actual money and then $30 in tips.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So, yeah, cool. Like I said, it averaged out to be, well over $20-some an hour. So that's, in this economy, that's nothing to thumb your nose at all.
Yeah. That's really good.
Being able to set your own hours, that's
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I wasn't expecting it to pull in that kind of money, especially your first time doing it.
I know. I haven't even gotten the welcome packet kit yet, so it's been it's been a really good opportunity that I'm itching to get back out there now. But as I was telling people, I got so sore from overdoing it. I went to my chiropractor today and trying to get myself put back into shape. So
yeah, I got you. Cool. Well, that's pretty sweet. It worked out really well. Now I know why everyone's doing a lot of these delivery services and everything, like DoorDash and the other ones, because now I'm seeing firsthand the kind of money people are making from it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no joke. I was thinking back to Ryan telling us he was making like $1,200 a week, and you know, and my area is pretty affluent. I think I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
I think I could probably pull that in if I was healthy enough to just like do it as a full-time job. I could probably definitely pull that in.
Yeah, definitely.
That's more money to buy stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Cool. How was your week in stocks last week?
Today was a really good day. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
It was kind of tapering off at the end of last week. I think, the rise of IDEX fell again. So I was close to making money on and breaking even on that stock, and now it's down to $1.30 again. But big gains in some of the things that I've got. Really happy about Nvidia. It's almost breaking 500,
Nice.
up about 7-8% today. They've got some really good news in the press, and of course, they're leading the way in autonomous driving. So that's part of the reason why they're getting a big bump. And then nickel is still holding strong above that 35 that I bought it at. So happy about that. FUV is up 3.5%. Still hoping for some good news out of AMC. I was really awesome. I was really excited to see, you sent me that email that they were just getting ready to reopen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I checked in the app. There's like one theater in all of Michigan that's going to open.
Oh.
It's nowhere near us.
Oh man.
The rest of them are all saying it just depends on what the state says.
Yeah.
So we're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. Our governor's not letting us out anytime soon.
Oh, but if it was the casino, we could go because those are
Yeah.
open.
Exactly.
She's got to get her little kickback money, so she'll open the casino, I guess.
Yeah, they got to start letting us gamble at the movies.
Mining stocks, my Great Panther Mining, which I bought for like 49 cents a share, over $1 now. I'm really happy about that.
Nice.
And that's the one that it's got ties to the battery industry, doing nickel and silver for batteries.
Yeah. So that one's going to make money either way, either on precious metals or nickel for batteries.
Yeah, no kidding. And then we've got the splits coming up with Tesla too. Tesla getting close to $2,000 a share. Oh my gosh, that 5-to-1 split. I think it's 5-to-1. That's still going to be a pretty penny when it does split.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. Tesla, even after the split, it's still going to be a pricey stock, but I don't know. It'll be nice. It might be something where I might come up with the funds to try and come up with a share for it. Whereas right now, it's around 1,800 a share.
Yeah.
Right now I wouldn't be able to come up with 1,800 for it.
Yeah, no, that's too high for my mark right now. I do have Apple covered for maybe 1 or 2 shares, so I think I'm going to stick with that play for now, and maybe see if I can buy Tesla on the back end. That buying 1 or 2 Tesla after the split is more reasonable for where I'm at right now.
Yeah, oh, definitely, I agree.
So how are you doing?
Oh, just trying to make money on the house. Like we're not near selling it yet, but I've been doing like a lot of renovations and everything, trying to protect to protect what we have into it, but also to kind of to grow it so that eventually we'll be able to sell and make some money, and then downsize and get maybe a condo or something, and then bank a lot of the money that we make off of the house. So
what about holding on to it as a rental property?
I was thinking about that. Our taxes it equals out to like $300 or $400 a month. So I was kind of like, well, if we were to rent it for $1,000 a month, almost half of that's going to go towards taxes, and then 100 or a couple hundred to pay the property manager, and because I wouldn't want to do it myself. I'd probably have one of our former guests on to do it. So part of me is like, well, if it was somewhere where the property taxes were a lot less, like 100, a couple hundred a month, then I think it would be ideal. But with the property taxes are like $300 or $400 a month, I'm like, eats into a lot of the rent that we could get for it, I think.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's true. And he did, and Mark did go through those calculations that they always do with people thinking about doing rental properties and seeing if there's actually some money left over to do anything with, because you have to, of course, set aside something so that you have an escrow to pay for repairs and maintenance and those types of issues, because you're on the hook for those. So yeah, maybe not, but your place is in a great spot there, a little dead end street, nice and quiet. So
yeah.
as much equity you could build up into it, you could turn that over for a pretty profit, I think.
And that's what I'm hoping, kind of like a long-term return on investment. Well, not super long-term. We're thinking maybe a couple of years after my daughter graduates, we'll put it up for sale and kind of downsize, get a condo, or get another house and then kind of do the same thing, fix that up, and then use that for rental property.
Yeah. Sounds cool. Well, there's quite a bit of news going on in the world today. One thing that kind of struck out to me, because we talk about side hustles a lot, and I'm actually looking into doing some stuff through Kindle Direct Publishing, making some books and things.
Excellent.
like blank journals, sketchbooks, that type of thing. I've been trying to think about different niches to get into for that. But one of the things that people do, especially through Amazon, is they buy items that then they do their own branding on them. You can kind of do this all hands free. It's like you can actually get people who are professional brokers who will do the research, pick the product for you, get the branding arranged, buy it, ship it to Amazon, and then it sells through the Amazon Amazon service. A lot of people do that. If you go search for certain products on Amazon, you'll find 5 or 6. They all look the same, different branding. That's what's going on there. Well, it looks like because of the fallout with China, Alibaba is on the possible lists of banishment from the U.S. economy. So, well, TikTok, actually spying on us. And then the administration is looking at other Chinese companies and seeing where their influence is and if it's an actual danger. And, this is the thing I agree with, because China is our biggest enemy, our biggest competitor. They're communist. They are not friendly to, our interests. So basically the amount of business that one country would do with them would be just to, for the longest time, it's just been appeasement. But our president wants to put our country ahead of that. And that doesn't appease them. So we got into those little trade war with the tariffs and whatnot, which we can debate back and forth on whether that was a good strategy or not. But, this is the type of thing is we hedge ourselves with too much China, and we end up getting more COVID scenarios out of them. And, we have so much of our medical production shipped overseas there. Which I guess now Kodak is going to start doing some generic medicines, and that was their big, huge Kodak moment with their stock, which is incidentally, I checked on it, it's down to $8.30. So I know our guest Franklin said he was a long holder on Kodak. I hope he sold at $30 and $40 a share just to take those profits, because it looks like that was a big pump, and then it dumped. It's still higher than what he paid for it, but I would hate to lose that on that income.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not his Genius brand.
Well, if it was a Genius brand, it'd be down to like $1.
Yeah.
Which, who knows? Because we live in this zombie economy, so never know what these things are going to do. It's crazy because we keep expecting the bottom to fall out, but they keep inflating things. And it seems to keep working for the short term, at least, because we had another big, huge rally today. The Dow was up. Amazon did really well. Apple did really well. Apple shares, it's like that's another one it's going to be close to $500 if it's not already in time for the split coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna do a quick check and see where See where Apple is right now.
Yeah, I was just trying to. I was just trying to open it up here too.
Yeah, 458.32. Down a little bit today, down a little bit after hours. Gosh, I don't know, because I think running up to the split, the excitement's just going to keep going. So it probably could be 480, 490 before it does the split. But right now, they have a big fight on their hands with Epic Games, though. Have you heard about this story?
I saw an article about it. I didn't get a chance to read it though, because I'm not as familiar with video games that much. What's going on?
Well, basically, and to kind of sum it up, because I haven't read everything on it, but Fortnite has its own like digital currency system for buying bric-a-brac, useless bric-a-brac, the fee to win type scenario. Decorate your characters, get new weapons and crap. Well, Apple, in order for it to be on the Apple platform, they want it to be through their Apple payment system. So they've barred Fortnite temporarily from being able to make any money because they're not playing ball with the Apple payments system. And so there's a legal battle going back and forth, which honestly, I think Epic might have a shot at winning this, So it's going to be interesting to, it says Fortnite's impact could be epic on the antitrust investigations of big tech. That's one of the headlines out there. Apple stock did fall today, underperforming the market a bit. And that's the fallout from this whole Epic Games scenario. Epic Games asked judge to block Apple's removal of Fortnite from the App Store. So that's a story definitely to watch, because the news affects the company, that affects the performance of the stock.
Yeah.
Another thing today. I do want to touch on. We do have our first ever piece of merch for the show, and I don't know. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I think I saw the link you sent over. I haven't ordered it or anything yet, though. Let me go back into there.
I'm working with a company called Printful that does lots of apparel. They'll do embroidery, screen printing, all over printing, lots of stuff like that. A lot of friends that I know who are in the apparel business, the unique apparel business, work with them. And I signed up quite a while ago, and this is another possible side hustle, is doing things like this. And I wanted to do something that kind of gave back to the money Twitter community. And so I designed this, let me get my screen share up here. Designed this cool little logo for Money Twitter. And you can see here, I took the Twitter bird. I drew my own version of it with a top hat and a monocle, kind of like the Monopoly style. It's all in black, and it says, "I come from Twitter, from Money Twitter." So I just playing around with some different ideas, and this kind of popped in there, and it's like, you know what? That's a great look for an icon, with the monocle and the top hat. And I do this because a lot of the DD that I get comes from Twitter. A lot of the stuff that I've been learning. I don't know if you've checked out any of the Gumroad courses I've bought in our Gumroad. But there's the Twitter cash flow that we had the young man on who was doing the affiliate marketing that helped him out. So that's in there. Another one, I'm doing for the Kindle Direct Publishing. I'm doing one based off that. There's a couple of dividend ones in there. I had you in mind when I got those.
Oh, excellent.
One of them is really cool, called Turbocharge Your Dividends.
Nice.
And it's a way of using dividends that you're already going to that you already are planning to hold long term. But I guess you're selling calls on top of those, and you don't lose your stock, but you gain an extra percentage on top of it from selling. I need to read through it again because it sounds like a great strategy, but you need at least 100 shares of a dividend stock in order to do this. Because again, with the options, it's all based on 100 shares. So, but yeah, there's been so much great information on there. And if you're on Twitter, look up people like Yates Investing. Look up people like Business Famous. Our friend affiliate, or what was it, ROI affiliate, I think that was his Twitter handle. Soul Faith, who was on the last program, who started the business doing the virtual hiring, he's on there too. And it's just a great community, people trying to help each other out, help each other make fortunes, basically. A lot of good free information, a lot of great threads to read through to learn this stuff. And it's been a great backup source of information to go along with all the YouTube ones. Stock Dweebs, that's one to follow. He's also got a YouTube channel. Lots of great free information explaining the market, buying stocks, and his picks are really good. He picked Walmart, and Walmart had a big day today. I think they're up 8%, broke 135, maybe 140 per share. It had found its bottom at like 128.29, and he kind of predicted that this was one of his picks for it to be. It found its bottom, and now it's going to go back up again. So it was a good time to get in and make some money on the stock. And a lot of people are congratulating him today because of Walmart's big day. So again, lots of great information on there if you want to learn about this stuff. YouTube, Twitter. You don't need to go to college to to learn this stuff.
Exactly. And I like the courses are kind of more direct, whereas sometimes college courses will be kind of like a broad survey course where you don't really get too deep into a subject. And the courses on here looks like it's kind of more focused on an individual subject.
Yeah, totally. The Kindle Direct Publishing one that I'm going through right now, it's mostly videos. He walks you right through the whole process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the way that he tailors his ebook or his video series or whatever you want to call it, the course, all with free tools. So theoretically, you could start this type of side hustle business with zero expenses. Using something like Canva, which is an online graphics creation program to make the cover, using Google Slides to create custom interiors with little lines on the pages and stuff. So my mind, I'm a very creative person at times, and my mind's going off on these different ideas, thinking how I can design a page for like anime wrestling recipe books, like collect all these recipes you see on Japanese anime that you like, or how you would
be
write
really
those
cool.
down. Kind of format the page, so that's a good way of writing down a recipe. Of course, journals, of course, sketchbooks, but some other unique things too. Like my wife's been learning Japanese. One of the things that she usually buys a lot of is these practice books, and it's basically just large grids for practicing drawing the characters. And where you'll fill up page after page after page. So something like that would be a really cool thing. And since I'm also an anime artist, I think I can get into that niche and do pretty well there. But he walks you through the whole process. Guide gives you some browser plugins to get into, to look and see when you're on Amazon, like what the ranking is of the product. Gives you targets to look for, to find a good niche. Because if you're just selling, notebooks, that's such a huge thing. You got to tailor it down into specific niches. Like, I found it fascinating that there was a whole niche of journals and notebooks that have pictures of sloths on them.
Really?
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm not really a sloth person, but I'm a shark person. So that's what I'm going to investigate, because I can do lots of cool shark themed designs for journals, for diaries, for whatever, and maybe that's something to capitalize on. But anyway, with DoorDash, with doing something like this, with my art career, you've got the teaching that you do and your day job, and it's collecting all these different sources of income, these different income flows. That's how you really build wealth, at least in this century, it seems like.
Yeah.
You can't rely on just one single source to do it for you, really, unless it's really, really good and you live under your means. But, we're coming from broke money, which is I'm living above my means,
Exactly.
And that's only short term, because you can't keep that up.
Yeah. Well, and the way things are right now, it's almost like if you're day job takes care of your bills, you're considered doing good, but you need a lot of different side hustles just to kind of get ahead.
Yeah. Think about all the other expenses outside of your bills is, your food budget, things like that. My wife just got her black belt in Musul Do, which is Taekwondo and like a couple other Korean martial arts kind of all mixed together. I don't remember the other two names. I'm sorry. Hapkido is one. Hapkido's one. But anyway, it's Korean martial arts. She just got a black belt, and we celebrated. And because of the work I did in DoorDash, that was a free celebration. We went to a restaurant in the evening, and we had Domino's subs for lunch, and it was just, that was $100 and some, and I pretty much paid for that with my DoorDashing.
Excellent.
So you think in terms like that. Do I have income coming in that's going to cover this? And then when you have income left over, that's money to invest, to buy assets, to grow, and that's how you start treading more and more water.
Exactly.
Well, I'm pretty much done with the DoorDash.
Treading water, or
yeah, I'm pretty much done. Covering the DoorDash scenario. I don't really have any stock picks for myself. Like I said, I do have money set aside for Apple, so that's going to kind of be my big date for the month. And then, do you have any picks for us today? Things that you're watching?
I think so. We didn't go over them last time, right? Because I got a couple from last time. Lately, I've just been doing some dividends, so everything's a merry. But did I go over Volkswagen? Well,
No,
I think
not at all.
there's been some stuff I've sold. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, that's what I had lined up for last time. Okay, so my date was VISL.
Visalink Technologies.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Now I remember what happened. This was one, it was really weird. One morning I woke up and this was in my portfolio and I didn't remember buying it. And I'm like, well, I don't remember getting drunk the night before and buying stocks.
So this was the phantom stock that showed up in your Robinhood account.
Yeah. So it wasn't a bad stock, I guess. It wasn't worth a lot. It was around, when I sold it, it was $2.71. So I woke up one morning and this thing's like in my portfolio. I didn't buy it. According to Robinhood, there was no, it didn't give me what I bought it for or anything. And I checked. I'm like, oh, maybe someone did like a free stock thing or signed up for Robinhood and I got a free stock out of it. So I went to my free stocks. Nothing was showing up in there, and I'm like, what's the deal with this thing? So I just waited for it to get up to where I thought, as high as I thought it would get, and I sold it. So it was the perfect date because it didn't cost me anything, and I made $2.71 on it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, it had to have been a free stock from somebody signing up, but it's weird that it wouldn't show up because I can't think of any other reason for it to just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't track it down. I couldn't find why I got it. Because usually it'll show you, someone signed up and it'll show you who signed up and everything, and it didn't show me anything. So I'm like, oh, that's really bizarre. And you'll have it'll be in your messages. Usually anything you do, especially on Robinhood, if you buy a stock or you put a limit order or anything, it shows up in your messages like, oh, hooray, or congrats, you did this thing. It's really, it's really encouraging. Robinhood is, because every time you do anything, even if you just put a limit order on a stock, it's like, congratulations, your limit order went through, or you have a limit order. It hasn't even gone through yet. They're just kind of congratulating you that it happened, I guess, apparently. So, and then my Mary is ExxonMobil. It's a one of the dividend stocks. I think it's a dividend aristocrat. It's XOM. This one I was kind of watching for it to kind of dip one day, and the the ex-dividend date, I think it was like last week, because I saw it was dipping. I looked. I had like the next day, it was going to be the ex-dividend day. So I'm like, oh man, I need to get this thing now so I can get the dividend. So, so I waited for it to drop. I picked it up at 43.05, and the dividend is paying out next month for 87 cents. So, well, it's down now. At the time, 43.05 was a good price to pay for it, but naturally, as soon as I bought it, it shot back down. So, and then for the kill, I did a Volkswagen VWAGY.
Far from Nugan.
Yeah. This one I had the stock almost since I started Robinhood. I think it was like one of the first ones I bought. I bought it at like $14.97. I sold it August 6th, so a couple weeks ago, for $17.24. I think it on Robinhood it says it has a dividend yield, but when I looked it up on dividend.com, they canceled the dividends, and I just wasn't really like I wasn't really attached to it, and like the dividend aristocrats and the kings, they have like years and years of paying out dividends, so they're more than likely always going to, unless something catastrophic happens. And even when something catastrophic happened this year, they still pay dividends. So with Volkswagen kind of not paying them, and then I think there wasn't even anything on dividend.com saying when they would pay dividends again. So I just kind of figured like, yeah, I'll kind of get out of the Farfernuggen game here.
I know they've got some news. They've had some news pop up. I think they're working with we're even working with Tesla on some EV vehicle projects or something. I know I saw. I know, and correct me if I'm wrong. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But I know I saw Volkswagen pop up in some news connected to EV. So I was kind of that's why I perked up when you said it. So.
Yeah, now they'll probably
yeah. yeah. Now that you sold it, it's probably going to go to like 30.
yeah, exactly. So now that I sold it, they'll probably get a deal with Tesla, and the stock will go up to 30 or 50 or more share.
Oh, we have a couple of comments.
Oh, cool.
Randy chimes in. Sloths are big right now. The kids really relate to that animal.
It's true.
That is funny. And our friend Pops, he wants to know what's good from you.
Oh, Pops is going to be disappointed. I sold my GM stocks a week or two ago.
Really?
Yeah. He told me always go with GM, and it was a good stock. I made money on it. But they're another one that canceled their dividends. And it was up, so I'm like, I'll go ahead and sell it now. And maybe next time it's on a dip or something, I'll pick it up. Especially if they start offering dividends again. I'm getting
you're a harsh dividend mistress.
Yeah, I've been getting really kind of not really irritated with stocks that cancel their dividends or don't declare that they're paying out on a quarter, because. Like, there's this little tiny stock that I got for free when I started Robinhood. Prospect Capital. Little tiny $5 stock. Every month they pay out 6 cents in dividends, no matter how bad the economy is. A little tiny nothing company. And then, like, larger companies like Volkswagen and Ford and GM pretty much canceled their dividends until they declare them again. So I'm kind of like, wait, this little tiny company every month is paying me dividends. But these huge companies that have been around forever and multinational companies and everything, they cancel at the first sign of trouble. So I've been kind of a lot more pickier, I guess, because now I'm going through and finding, wait, this is supposed to be a nice dividend stock, and when you look them up, they're not paying out anytime soon.
Well, here's some news that'll cheer you up.
Oh, good.
Nikola stock was a win for analysts. GM could be another.
Oh.
Deutsche Bank analyst Emmanuel Rosner says to buy GM Motors stock now. Notice he said buy, not sell.
Oh.
He put the stock on the firm's Catalyst call buy list, recommending it to short-term trading opportunities. That's the same list Rosner put Nikola on in early August. The Nikola call has worked out pretty well for the analyst. Again, so early August, they were $30 a share. 44 right now. They peaked at like 48. The catalyst for Rosner in the case of Nikola was earnings. He thought Nikola would announce partnerships and other milestones with the heavy-duty truck company. Alternative Fuel Pioneer reported its first quarter as a publicly traded entity on August 4th. The report, however, proved disappointing because Nikola didn't say much that was new. Shares dropped 8.3% on the 5th. So that's more kind of where we're at. We're still kind of around those same numbers, I think. This past week, the company announced an order for short-range battery-powered trucks from the waste hauler Republic Services. Nikola shares are up by roughly 1/3 from the level preceding Rosner's bullish call. Pretty good, although the stock was down 5.4% on Monday afternoon. Perhaps investors see that the trade has played out. Rosner isn't a full Nikola bull. He rates the stock the equivalent of a hold and has a $50 price target. The catalyst Rosner sees for GM stock is more significant than a quarterly earnings report. The analyst believes GM might start talking about spinning out its EV business, and that would be a huge transaction. When you look at the high market value and cheap access to capital of some of these electric vehicle companies, you can make you consider spinning off GM's electric vehicle motor operations. Rosner asked GM CEO Mary Barra on the 29th of July. We are evaluating always evaluate many different scenarios. So I don't have anything further to say other than we are open to looking at and evaluate anything that we think is going to drive long-term shareholder value, Barra responded. So I would say nothing is off the table. So it's kind of a non-answer, just saying, yeah, whatever. However we can make money. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. Rosner has written about the value of the EV franchise inside of GM recently and thinks investors aren't giving the century-old automaker credit for its internally developed EV technology. There's a little downside. Talk of a spinoff doesn't pick up. Rosner thinks investors are assuming a very low probability of a deal actually happening. Price barely reflects that possibility, and Rosner likes GM shares regardless. Rating them a buy, his price target is $33 a share, and the stock was trading at $30.02 late on Monday. EV stocks are valued far higher than traditional car stocks. Tesla is valued at more than $800,000 per car delivered. That's more than 100 times the value GM gets in today's stock market. And a little bit more blah, blah, blah. GM stock closed up 7.8% in Monday trading. Year to date, shares are still down 18% worse than comparable returns of the S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrials. EV stocks, on the other hand, are on fire. The EV stocks Barron tracks are up more than 260% year to date on average. Stock in Nikola, one of the alternative fuel transportation stocks, tracked up to 319% year to date. That return figure includes the performance of the publicly traded SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Company, that Nikola merged with in June. And there's another one, Fisker, which is looking to do that right now too, pretty soon with its Special Purpose Acquisition Company. Interesting title, a little bit more clickbaity because Mary Barra didn't give away anything in her answer to that question. But you know the companies like GM and Ford are looking at Tesla and be like, yeah, we need to get in on that.
Yeah.
Because we expect those brands to be leaders, but it's all these upstarts that are leaders in this EV technology. And It's exciting.
Yeah.
So here's Pops commenting on you. He is not playing the market. He is playing easy payoffs. LOL.
Oh.
Don't ever sell GM, son.
Yeah.
He
I
took
should have held on to it.
Took you to the woodshed on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have held on to it. It's over. I sold it right around 29. It's up around 30 now. I should have just held on to it. They'll start doing dividends again, but I still think there might be another dip next month, so I can probably pick it back up for what I paid into it, you know?
Oh, sure. Just make sure it's on your watch list. Look for a dip. Get a place to onboard. Now that I'm thinking more of it, I'm really hoping this Epic Games thing drives Apple down a little bit, because it will get resolved. But in the short term, right around the stock split, and they're playing these court games with Epic Games. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You couldn't have picked a worse time.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll drive Apple down a little bit to closer to 4 and make it a little bit more affordable for an onboard. But again, it's like we're not dealing with huge money here. We're dealing with our broke money. We're trying to grow it, and we're getting there. We're doing better than we were at the start of this. And Pops again chiming in. That is when you get more. If you still had it, LOL.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, do you have anything else that you're looking at? Any news stories that peeked out at you?
Nothing else as far as in the news. I've been like, how Google after a while kind of figures out what you're into, and then every time you log into Chrome or Google, it shows like a million articles,
Yep.
Based on what your interests are. So it's been showing me a lot of stock articles. So I've been, kind of reading those and kind of send them over your way whenever I find one that looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because you can't see everything, and typically what I pick from is the Robinhood aggregate, because that's where they do a lot of Barron's and Market Watch, and those are generally pretty good articles. But there's tons of other stuff out there going on.
Yeah. Yeah, there's and some of the articles, because there's a couple I fell for where I looked at it and then I don't think it was a reliable news source. And there's like, it seems like whenever the market's doing good, they're always saying there's doom and gloom and it's going to drop and everyone pull your money out now and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we even had a minor price correction recently with gold and silver, where the gold silver ratio went up a little bit. And we had good market, we had good jobs news. Yeah, the job losses were lower than expected for the month of July, and so that was a little bit of a retraction, but it's tracked back up again. So, don't. That's one of those assets where you don't pull a trike and sell it because it went down $1.
It's going down. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Hold on to it, because it's a store of wealth, not necessarily an investment, but a store of wealth.
I did notice when silver was getting up, it got up around like $29 or something,
yeah,
right? It was almost
30. Yep.
Yeah, everyone on Facebook Marketplace all of a sudden had silver they were selling, and I kept on trying to get them down on the price, because if it's 29, then they want 34 because they want whatever the premium is, and I'm like, well, you're not JM Bullion. I'm not paying you a premium. I'll give you what the I'll give you what the ask price is for it. And then as soon as, I think the other day, right now it's around 27. I think the other day, like last week or something like that, it got down to around 26 again. And then all of a sudden, all the posts for people selling silver disappeared. Because I started looking through them. I'm like, maybe now I can, get them down in price or something. And all of them disappeared as soon as silver went back down.
So
everyone was, yeah, yeah. Yeah, everyone was trying to sell when it was up and decided to hold on to it when it was down.
Yeah, silver down 12 cents, gold down 62 cents. Gold is at 19.8968 and silver 27.48. So still worth it to me, And when it's down, buy more.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Randy and Pops for chiming in the comments. We love having some comments, so thank you for that.
Yeah, especially Pops. I like he kind of, kind of gives me a hard time. I dig it.
Listen, if you're listening to the show, there's a link for DoorDash to try it out. If you're hard up for money, if you need another job, side hustle, I highly recommend this. Just looking at the map for our area, there's good money out there to be made, and like I said, all of these ride sharing and all these side hustle type jobs. Because of COVID, there's a lot of people who are doing them who have stopped doing them because they're afraid to go out in public or what have you. So there's an opportunity there, and there's demand is there. I mean, I could have kept being busy all night Friday night into the wee hours of the morning. People having parties, getting drunk, ordering food. There's lots of money there to be made. So click the link down there. You can also find the link for Glint to buy gold and save it up like a debit card, basically create your own bank. And you can get some free stocks on Robinhood and Webull. There's links there in the description too. So please check those out. And we look forward to broadcasting again, hopefully Saturday. I know we didn't broadcast this last Saturday. I wasn't feeling good, but you were like majorly finishing up your renovations on your house.
Yeah.
It looks good back there. So congratulations on that.
Yeah. I finally have like an actual office now instead of, just a computer in a torn up room. So I can actually be live. Now I just got to remember to shave more than once a month and get some better lighting in here. I look like a ghost.
Yeah, get yourself something with like a little warm light to it. I ordered some gels off Amazon. Mm-hmm. They're just colored plastic, and you can put them over in front of any LED light and color it however you want.
Oh, nice.
So that was a nice little find. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. I want to thank everybody who's listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Please, if you're listening, rate the show. Give us, 2 or 3 stars. And leave a comment. 5 stars would be great, but I know we're still new at this. We're still learning, but really we'd love to see some ratings there and some comments. And thank you very much for enjoying the show. Thank you for watching online, YouTube, Facebook, and being a part of the show. If you've got a side hustle, if you're doing something, if you're an investor, whatever your experience is, if you want to share it with us, please reach out to us at Broke Money on Twitter or Broke Money Hustle on Instagram. Our DMs are open. You can find us here on the Facebook page as well. Send us a message, not a sales pitch. Sales pitches will be ignored. We are looking for people to have as guests on the program. So if that's you, please do it, and we'll evaluate you and have you on. And as our past examples have been of guests, there's some great stuff out there, some great stories to learn from, great people out there to learn from, and we hope to bring you those experiences. For my co-host, Trico, who finally showed up today, we look forward to talking to you again, hopefully this Saturday, and to see how the market treated us, and maybe do some deep dives. I really would like to go over the Webull platform a little bit, so maybe if we don't have a guest Saturday, we'll do that. So until next time, this has been Broke Money Hustle.
This is Broke Money Hustle.